This is News Radio WRVA.
You know, I don't want to hear anything else about my Diet Coke consumption because I figured out what Brian Kilmeade has every morning, and it's way more caffeine than I do. They showed him on social media. I think they say he gets 2 of these a morning. Hope I'm not ratting him out, but it's out there on the internet. He gets it like this, I don't know, it's got sugar and all this other stuff in it. It's a cold foam drink, 6 shots of espresso. And they say that there's 2 that he does a day during the TV show, and then whatever he drinks. I know he goes and gets smoothies and all the rest of that, but I don't drink 6 shots of espresso. I just drink a ton of Diet Coke. Anyway, good morning, everybody. 7:04 on Richmond's Morning News. I'm Rich. Coming up on the program, TJ Leonard is going to be joining us, our friend. Now, I got to remind everybody of 2 things. Thursday, I guess that's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Filet Day at Tom Leonard's. I experienced it last year for myself. I've never seen more happy carnivores in my life. They have a special price on the loin that they will cut into fillets for you, and people stand in line, and the butchers are right there. I watched TJ do it. He's pretty amazing with the carving knife, and he's going to explain what they're doing today for tomorrow's Filet Day. It's a National Filet Day. So TJ Leonard's going to join us coming up at 7:35. Lori Warren, 8:35, the president of Richmond Raceway. And then we have back-to-back Warrens. Greg Warren is going to join us. He's a comic coming to town. He was here a couple weeks ago opening for Leanne Morgan. He's at the Funny Bone a week from tomorrow. So we'll talk about that coming up on the show as well. All right, number for you to join us here on the program if you want to chime in, 833-804-1140. I want to get to the elections from yesterday. And then there's a story that keeps popping up. A couple of you have sent text messages in about the president having to jump on a alternate plane to get him out of the NATO summit. So 2 things. We'll start with the elections. I just want to give you my thoughts on that, and you can chime in if you like as well. If you're the Democrats, you dodged a bullet yesterday by having Hong not win that nomination to run for governor of Wisconsin. Why? Because your party would have been drugged down. They're going to get drugged down by a lot of these crazy progressive candidates. Now, if I'm a Democrat, and Gary's been playing that clip of Abigail Spanberger. Wow. I don't even know where to unpack that one. I might leave that for something else, but somebody in the Democratic Party needs to stand up and have the courage of their conviction to say something that's not popular right now, which is the Democratic Socialists that are coming into the Democratic Party are bringing ideas and energy into the party. Yes. And some of those ideas and a lot of that energy is not what I want to be associated with. They went to defund the police, get rid of prisons. Now you're really seeing what these socialists want. And these socialists want get rid of the Senate, get rid of the Supreme Court, neuter the presidency, and have a collective. I'm going to use their terms. They want to have Congress, which is made up of the people that they send to there, kind of like a big collective, which will decide everything for everybody. That's un-American. That takes away our checks and balances. Imagine no Supreme Court, no president, and it's one body that decides everything for everybody. And if that body goes rogue, who knows what happens? That's what the Democratic Socialists are willing to bring to America. They want to bring to America. They want to see happen, and they're using the Democratic Party to make that happen. If I'm a Democrat, does anybody have, Abigail Spanberger apparently doesn't have the courage to stand up and go no to socialists that are trying to change our way of life, to try and change the institutions of the United States of America. Her and Tim Kaine, hey, listen, we have a big party. We'll let everybody in. Really? Would you let me into the Democratic Party if I came in as a conservative and said, I stand for the Supreme Court, I stand for the presidency, I stand for the Constitution? How long would I last in the Democratic Party? Don't tell me you have a big tent, folks. You don't. Would you let Christian conservatives into the Democratic Party if we decided to all jump over and become Democrats? Would you welcome my point of view in the Democratic Party? I think not. But you're willing to use their energy to get to where you want to be, which is power. And I got to figure this out. I'm just not sure where to go with this yet. The Democratic Socialists of America are not communists. They're not. They are socialists. They're Marxists. So what do we call them? Because if you call them a communist, then they go back, no, we're not communists. Well, you are following Karl Marx, so you're Marxists. Maybe that's how we refer to them. Socialists. Well, we're democratic socialists. You heard AOC. Woke one was crazy, but we're democratic socialists. I mean, we're socialists, but people vote us in. Well, through the history of the world, plenty of people have voted socialism in. They just can't vote it out. So I think to refer to them as communists, you lose people that aren't really following, and you just sound like you're just name calling. You call them Marxists, that's exactly what they are, because of that collective that they want that's going to tell everybody else what to do. It takes away your individual rights, individual freedom. You see Zoran Mondami going after people's personal property because you don't have that in a big collective. That's what Marxism is. So for the Democratic Party, you dodged a bullet by not nominating the woman that said, I hate Thanksgiving, to run for Wisconsin's governor, but you have a bigger picture problem that unless you say no to these Marxists, they're going to drag you down, and they're only going to get stronger. The fact that she only lost by 3,000 votes, if you're a Democrat and that doesn't scare you the way your party's going, then I think you need to look in the mirror. And as far as the Republicans go, if you're just happy, oh, look, we get to run against the Democratic Socialists of America, I will tell you this. We saw it in Virginia. You can't run against somebody. You've got to tell me why I'm going to vote for you. You've got to tell me what you're going to do, what you stand for. Unless you do, then you're not doing your job. You're not leading, and you're just going to let the Democratic Socialists grow and grow and grow. Bots, 833-804-1140. By the way, people have been asking all morning long about the story that came out. Donald Trump had to jump off of the new Air Force One, the one that was donated to him, and then get back on the old Air Force One that came along with it. Remember, Air Force One is not an actual plane. It's the call sign of the plane that the president's on. So if the president got on a Cessna with me and I was the pilot, that would be Air Force One. If the president gets on the big blue plane, it's Air Force One. He gets on the new plane with the new color scheme, that's Air Force One. Whatever he's riding, that's Air Force One. When he's in the Marine helicopter, it's not that exact helicopter. It's whatever one is with him. That's Marine One. You remember the Harrison Ford movie, Air Force One, when he jumped from the presidential plane to the military plane, that became Air Force One. So whatever he's riding is Air Force One. But a lot of people are like, well, why come we didn't know? The press is like, nobody told us. So here's, I did the research on it. Secret Service and the military made the call. The Israelis had found, and their intelligence in the Middle East is better than anybody else in the world. They found out there was a plot to shoot down Air Force One shoulder-fired missiles, which they're not sure the new Air Force One was going to be able to defend the president and protect him. So they went to subterfuge to get him away. And at one point, they took him, they put him in a catering cart to get him from one plane to the other so nobody could see physically where the president was. And people are yelling and screaming and yelling and screaming. How come they didn't tell us? I don't know. If you're under threat, do I announce it to the whole wide world? Should he have put it out on Truth Social? Hey, everybody, we discovered a plot. They're going to try to shoot down Air Force One. I'm going to get in this catering cart and go to this other plane, and I'll be flying out on that one. And then there was a bunch of concern. Well, how come he didn't take everyone with him? I guess big picture to look at for the president, if he's under attack, or just like at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, they grab the president, whisk him away. Everybody else stays. He's the number one person that you get away and all of that. So the fact that the rest of the media that didn't get added to it and everybody else who's on the trip with them, okay, I'll just ask you the protocol for the Secret Service. When the guy came into the White House Correspondents' Dinner, did they grab everybody and move them all out at the same time? Or do they grab the president, which is their number one protectee, and move him out of harm's way? Same thing with this plane. But I guess my bottom line of all of this, and I'm looking at everybody wringing their hands, the fact that we are in a kinetic fight, war, if you will, because again, it hasn't been declared. If we're in this fight with Iran, Iran is not a paper tiger. Iran has opportunities to come back and do damage to us. They're doing it economically, and there's a legitimate threat for them coming back. The United States military is so awesome and is so lethal, we sometimes forget that other people in other countries have a say-so as well, and they will not just roll over and play dead. They will fight back for their way of life the same the way that we do. I just thought I'd throw that out for you this morning. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140 is the number for you to join us. Oh, I got some good text messages. I already made some people mad this morning. I love it. 833-804-1140. All right, today's program is brought to you by my friends at Pearson Signature Dealerships. Oh, do I love Pearson Signature Dealerships? There's a reason why. First time I had to go in there and get my car worked